surprise us in both positive and in negative ways.
Yeah, so I think it was Yijin, Blazers, and Biob that were in the promoting team, I think. While obviously Conan and Slater were on different teams last split. So we'll have to see how this cohesion works out. This is their debut. As we head on to Summoner's Rift, God, I'm glad to be back. I have missed this so much, Quincy. As it looks like it's going to be a fairly quiet start. No shenanigans going on as the junglers will just start their buffs, but on opposite sides of the map. So we could have some action early.
We definitely can. And also like some top side puffing coming from Penguin. He maybe wants to punish the Gnar early when he's still in the mini Gnar form, can be engaged on by the side of Hero, but maybe not if he's going for the full clear, as he would then maybe be a little bit too late for that, as we just know the Trundle puffing towards the bot side, which means, of course, Alistar is a great gang setup. You would want to punish the Zeri in the early game, and definitely something you can do, and it's something you really pick the Alistar for, right? You wouldn't really pick the Alistar to do nothing in the early game, as later on he just becomes a meatball for the enemy team to maybe even heal off, and like this. Yeah, it's something that I really would expect you Esports to focus on. And Eddie, of course, is a player that can, with him being still kind of new to the scene. I mean, it's the third split, but now with the winter split counting as a full split, maybe that shouldn't even count that much. Maybe you can still tilt him in the early game if you really get him down.
It is kind of interesting, though, as we've actually just seen two trades go very well for Team Secret, as Hero managed to get a bit of a bully onto the Gnar before he transformed. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that going bot is a little bit difficult for Yijin because, he's got that Alistair, but he's also got an Ezreal. Not exactly a powerhouse early. I wouldn't honestly be too surprised. Oh, I'm going to have to tell a lie because Yijin has come to the bot lane. Zeri already dashing on out, but finds a troll, finds a pillar, finds a knock-up, and they will find a kill as Yijin gets off to a rocking start.
And it's Yijin Trundle getting the first, but the gang setup isn't really that bad, right? I mean, you have the Alistar. The Ezreal, by not being a powerhouse early, he can just dash into the face of the Zeri, and while Zeri, of course, she can escape once with a Spark Surge, she isn't really able to follow up any damage. And he didn't even bother trying to use his flash or his growth there to escape. He knew he was dead to heights as soon as the Trundle showed up. And I think that was kind of predictable, so I really think that Eddie made a mistake in being in this position in the first place. And like this, of course, Yijin with a great start on his what you would maybe call a signature champion. You will see again, just headbutt coming in. Eddie just gets pillared and just dies pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, good restraint by Eddie not to blow his flash there because it was never going to save him. Means he's not nearly as vulnerable to a potential return gank. As we do just see Penguin continuing to farm it up, did go for that full clear, as you said, so has a little bit of a lead, but we do need to see something come of this, or it's really not going to be worth it. Is behind Coated if he wants to have a crack.
Now he's mini Gnar, and this might just be his way in. Gotta respect the double hop from Coated, so if he just gets a good hop, he can easily get at least away from the side of Hero. But I think they played out.
Swirl Seed is thrown. There's the double hop. Watch out, Eep used, but Coated doesn't mind whatsoever as he just throws the boomerang, walks on away. It's just going to be lane positioning and a little bit of health taken away from the Gnar.
That's not enough, I would say. There's a lot of time spent on the top side by the side of Penguin here, and you didn't even get a flash out of Coated, and you didn't need more gank set up there. And for that to happen, you really need Hero to really hit level 6 to really get the Cyclone crowd control going. And so far, it's just one double hop out, and Coated is pretty fine in that regard. So first gank definitely showing that Yijin still. He still kind of has it, and Penguin a little bit lackluster in what he first did. We also know from last split where his lanes all step up and Penguin was kind of quiet, so to say. And this game, I really want to see with what Penguin can do if he gets a few more levels under his belt, because the Little Lullaby can be such a key ability.
Oh, Yijin, he greeted for the chicken, and now he's in trouble. He's exhausted. He's got 4 on top of him. Juhao, come on, mate. But the kill is taken regardless. Team Secret firing back.
I don't think Jura wanted that kill. I mean, he used the Ignite to really get it secured in case he would somehow escape. And Trundle is surprisingly tanky. I mean, he can easily heal up a surprising amount there. And Yijin, as you said, was greeting for the chicken, and is that wise again. Would have been, of course, beautiful to give the kill over to anyone else. Literally anyone else on the side of Team Secret. But, I mean, Jura getting the kill. Better than not getting the kill, I would say. So, a small victory on the side of Team Secret.
Oh, yeah, for sure. At least they did got something back, and to remove the Trundle from the map for a time, but he's back and he's going straight to the dragon. So Yejin not deterred. Blazers not really under any threat, still had access to the Valkyrie, but this does allow Artifact to get a good shove in. So Team Secret potentially with good positioning in 2 minutes with this Herald. I kind of need to see how the dominoes fall here, or it kind of just seems like GE is running away.
GE is definitely doing well here. I mean, of course, Yejin knows, he just now saw Penguin being in the mid lane, so he knows the Drake won't be contested. It can just be snuck away by the side of the Trundle, and Trundle can just easily take the first Drake. I also wonder how his item build choice will go, because he started Barmy Cinder on the Trundle despite having a good early lead. You would usually expect a Divine Sunderer item build, but in the recent times, we have seen even Jonas going Sunfire Cape as a DPS item. Maybe he's also fancying that one, or going for like the Volibear-esque item builds with the Chem Tank into items like Deadman's Plate of Force of Nature to really get insane movement speed numbers and just working with your base damage basically. And Yejin so far looks to be one of those guys.
I mean, I think Sunfire Cape up against the lineup from Team Secret would be very good. They're going to be very clustered team fights. A lot of big lads piling in on top of each other, which is where that item really shines. But we are 45 seconds away from the Rift Herald as Coded's in trouble. There's a Cyclone coming out, gnaws him away, but Penguin is reinforcing flashes, puts him to sleep, and this will be a Gnar going down. Hero tanks the tower, but he's just fine as Lilia gets onto the board.
And Hero almost got that kill on his own with using a very good all-in with the Cyclone, and Coded just barely getting the Mega Gnar out, but with, of course, Penguin being around, using his Flash Q, and then following up with the Lilting Lullaby, means there was no way out for the Gnar, easily tower livable if he is put to sleep, and that's what happened right there. Lilia getting a first kill of the game, and also, item build-wise, I mean, I addressed it in draft already, I want to see where she's really going, if it will be the Riftmaker item build, or if it will just be more into the full AP. I would expect the Frozen Heart second still, because there's just so much physical damage shots on the enemy team with Gnar, with Trundle, with Ezreal to a certain bit, and that's something where you can really make great use of that very cost efficient item.
Oh, Artifact, bad timing there as he moves forward right as the Trundle joins the lane. Is he just going to try and trade the kill? No, he goes back to the Soul, and Matt, with a good flash, actually gets out of there. Well played there by Artifact.
Artifact really making sure the mobility of Jonas put to great use with a Soul Unbound. Of course, you know where he wants to snap back, but using his other abilities definitely makes it kind of hard for GE to track him down using his flash at the right time. But Yejin, he's still very angry and wants to go for this first Herald. And Hero alone can't stop him.
Coded
He needs more people around.
Yeah, Coded has full
fight it.
Naba. You can't go near this. I don't know. Team Secret seems to be caught napping.
They're caught napping, and they also just still suffer a little bit from these early skirmishes that were not really playing in the favor, with Yejin getting the first kill into the bot lane. And while they haven't gotten more kills, they have gotten more summoner spells. A lot of summoner spells blown just to get Coded down a single time, and also Artifact using his flash just to get out this mid lane gank just now. So all the flashes down on the top side of the map, the bot lane also not around for the Herald, means you better just give away the Herald, and let's wait and see what GE can really do with it. It is the first Herald, it's very impactful, can guarantee at least 2 turret platings, meaning 320 gold into their pockets, and Yejin maybe in a position to help his bot lane out a little bit so they can get into the game, or even the mid lane to get Corki rolling earlier, because Corki on the poke build needs a lot of gold to really come to fruition.
Very true, as Penguin is up towards the top side trying to steal away some Krugs. Coded evidently doesn't appreciate it, as Artifact once again, good trade into Blazers, but they're both just going to take their resets. Oh, never mind, this is going to be a Herald dropped, as you said. Corki needs a lot of gold, and Herald's a good way to give it to him.
Definitely is, and what I'm kind of feeling bad right now is Yejin, because it just now looks to me that he's a very good jungler, but his lanes are kind of not up to the task, as the top lane kind of on its own falling away a few CS and as well. Just now, with Zeri just now taking the wave, will also get a small CS lead, and in the mid lane Artifact just now also being back. It was kind of just Yejin doing good stuff, but his laner's not really making good work of it and getting kind of the leads on their own, and they just are the happy customer for the side of the jungler and do not make use of their leads.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. That can sometimes be the nature of Trundle, though. Not really a solo carry, but he is tagged by a Swirl Seed. He'll be having a nap with the Lilting Lullaby. In goes Yone, and look at the damage going in onto Yejin as Artifact swings the sword and beheads himself a troll.
That's the kind of thing that I was afraid of here, that Team Secret at some point just uses all their strength and just can get for those kills. We have seen an off-screen solo kill coming out for the side of Hero against the Na from Coded, and meanwhile, simultaneously, almost Yijin, the one player that was having a good game on the side of Genius Esports, getting caught up by the Lullaby, and yeah, as you said, as well in draft, Lullaby into what Yone can do with his fate sealed, can easily seal the fate of a player like the Trundle. He is on the tanky item build, but of course, against Yone and Lilia combined, you take a lot of damage. It is also the Frozen Gauntlet build for the side of Trundle. Also, it is the one mythic we didn't expect him to go.
Yeah, he definitely caught us out there, but appropriate. He is an ice troll after all. Sunfire Cape maybe would have been a little bit too painful for him to carry around. Got to think about his comfort after all. As Dragon has spawned onto the map, but Team Secret seem to have absolutely no interest in it. This is going to be Yijin picking up the Cloud Drake, giving them the second stack. I'm still not sure how I feel about this lack of Dragon priority.
I kind of like it. I mean, Team Secret seems to have a clear plan. They don't even bother contesting it. They go for the gold instead and just go for trade it for waves and something like this. And they are almost 3k gold ahead, and they haven't really won these skirmishes all too decisively, right? It's kind of the scary part, I think, because it's just them slowly but surely granting themselves gold lead and trading it for other stuff, like the Herald, like the Drake. And of course, with the Hextech Drakes, potentially Hextech Soul coming up, they will eventually go for these Drake contests. But if they accumulate a gold lead of, let's say, 4,000 or 5,000 gold, then these fights will be very hard, or not impossible, to play for the side of GE.
Yeah, that's very, very true. And I mean, the real hero to me at the moment is, funnily enough, Hero. As he got one gank early where Penguin did come up, burned his flash, got the kill onto Coded. But look at what he's done with it. You were saying that you felt bad for Yijin because they weren't making use of what Yijin gave them, but it's the opposite situation in this top lane.
Definitely is. 2k gold lead in the top lane alone. So half the gold lead is basically onto Evo against with some position encoded. And I kind of hate that for the side of Genius Esports because they were like individual players we know beforehand, and their cohesion is something we didn't know. Usually you would expect teams like this to have decent laning phase and kind of struggle in the macro, but it kind of looks like the opposite way for me because the jungle lane synergy looks decent, but the laning itself kind of doesn't look too good.
Yeah, and obviously this is something we're going to have to keep an eye on as the split develops, is how Genius Esports adapts as a unit. Because we know the players, but we don't know the team. And so far, as you said, not incredibly impressed. But let's talk a bit more about Team Secret, because we have had our eye on Artifact quite a lot. So far, I think this has been a pretty fantastic laning phase, going even in CS up against a ranged matchup, though of course it is Corki. How do you think this Yone fares once we move into the team fights?
I think it might just be pretty unstoppable. And that's the thing that I just not saw in the shop. He's played the Wound King and the cloth armor. Now you might ask, what's the cloth armor for? If you have followed LCK, you would know it, as Chovy read that item build as well. Yone has this insane, like Yasuo, the crit passive where he gets like the double crit chance, or 2.5 times crit chance even. But he doesn't even use it. He goes from Blade the Wound King into Sunfire Cape, actually, and just goes this tanky boozery item build where nobody can kill him, but he can still dish out a crap load of damage to the enemy team and can just lifesteal off with the insane passive from Blade the Wound King that will make him very agile in the team fights as well, with the movement speed still coming out. And Artifact in the team fight will definitely flourish to a certain extent. And I don't see how an Esfield or how a Corki can kill him.
I think it's going to be extremely difficult, not to mention the threat range. Threat range is probably the wrong word, sort of the buffer zone that Team Secret have, because Yone goes in and you want to jump in on him, but then there's a Lilia there just saying, if I hit you with a spell, you're going to sleep. So it's so terrifying. It's so hard to navigate this.
Yeah, or Yone itself, like with the ultimate and also with the solar board, he just has so much potential places to be at any point of time. Like, even if you hit him and he's got the tanky item build, like, you don't even deal damage to him. Like, when do we even start? I mean, the best case is maybe even Trundle ulting the Yone, because the Yone is also a tank on his own. But I don't think that is ideal if you play against this Wukong and against this Nautilus. So you really want to soften up those instead of the Yone. And the Yone in itself just becomes such a great zoning threat. And yeah, if it's even zoning threat, I mean, if he just doesn't straight up kill you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best kind of zoning, right? Best CC is death. As once again, we have Team Secret grouping up. They did pick up the second Herald, so Penguin has finally decided to play for an objective, other than Blood, of course, but they don't drop it in the mid lane. The wave clear from Blazers was good enough. So I am curious where they're going to take this one. I have to assume it gets dropped mid.
I think they drop it mid, but they wait a little bit. They wait like around 45 seconds, and then they just drop it shortly before the Drake and force GE in this awkward situation where they either defend the Rift Herald or go for the Drake fight, and then likely they just have to opt to defend the Herald charge. And then this would be the first Drake coming over to the side of Team Secret, and them stopping a potential Drake Soul Stack win condition, and that's gaining some more minutes to really scale into this game, especially Yone and Zebi want to do that, and that is something that definitely would play in the favor of Team Secret here. That's why I think they will just wait a little bit and they just drop the Herald mid lane to have this distraction going on where GE, I mean, if they just decide to drop the Herald and don't care about the charge and fight for the Drake, maybe they get the Drake, but then they would lose at least 2 turrets. This is why I think right now they go for the Herald charge, and GE has to defend it. And this will lose them position on the Drake.
Yeah, pretty spot on. They're going to probably lose this tower as there's a double sleep coming in, but it's just used for zoning. They don't need to overcommit onto that one, and Team Secret will just back off. But that's a big ultimate down for the Dragon. That might have been a bridge too far.
And also the Herald charge maybe a bit too early. I mean, the Drake is spawning just right now, and maybe now GE has enough time to recover from it, but Team Secret is already on it. But Yijin can just walk into the pit.
Yeah, there's the true shot barrage. Get a little bit of vision, but Yijin needs to get closer. Doesn't get the steal as the Cyclone's used as well. Blazers over the wall, able to whip in those missiles. Valkyrie's back over. Nara's picked up that first kill, and Slater desperately doing what he can up against Artifact. Artifact flashes forward, goes back to the Soul, but will go down. 2 kills now picked up for GE, 1 for Secret as the fight disengages.
I think Team Secret is more than fine for that if they get 1 kill and the Drake to trade 2 kills to just really gain 5 more minutes to scale. Artifact also kind of bailing his team out with getting the kill to Slater there before dying himself. But I gotta say, Team Secret kind of lucky and sloppy in this play as they just won the Drake flip. That could have gone the either way quite easily as well for the side of Yijin. And if that happens, it would have been them being on soul point and winning the fight. Team Secret, for being such a cohesive team, looking not as coordinated as I would expect them to be.
TP coming in. They want to try and get onto Blazers. Swirl Seed won't land. Hero with a little bit of a movement speed buff, but it's only going to be moments before Blazers has access to the Valkyrie with a blast cone as well. I don't think you're ever catching him, and he gets on out of there.
Yeah, kind of greedy TP play. I mean, you try to catch a Corki with that. That's kind of not an easy thing to do. I would think they assume that the Swirl Seed would hit, but here we see the Drake fight again. Flip one by the side of Penguin to secure the Drake, and the fight just now kicks off. A lot of focus has been put on the Drake itself, so the fight itself is not something the Secret really wants here. Despite their lead, they kind of blew their pulver already. Yeah, Artifact, a lot of zoning, and the best zoning, as we mentioned before, just straight up killing the Ezreal, who also used his flash, used his Arcane Shift, and still couldn't get out. Kind of a taste of what's about to come when the Yone hits the Sunfire Cape item power spike. But even right now, he's kind of strong already, and that was a sloppy fight played by Team Secret. It likely only gets better from here.
And I have to say, so far, I'm really impressed with the killer instinct that Artifact has shown. It's not surprising. It's something that he has always shown. But twice now, there's been situations where he's been fighting outnumbered. And while a lot of players would already be looking for their retreat, he has gone, I'm just going to one for one. If I 1 for 1, it's good enough. And he's done it twice now. Didn't actually 1 for 1 in the first play. I'm referring to that first gank. But he looked for it. And then he did it again in that fight. And he did get the 1 for 1. And it was exactly enough to make it worth it for Team Secret. So Artifact really can't get enough of this player.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the easy solution to being outnumbered. Yeah? You just kill so many that you're outnumbered anymore. That's the way he's going. He's not running away from it. Yeah, kind of working this last extent against Slater, of course. Also, blowing the flash of the Ezreal is a very huge asset. I mean, the Ezreal, of course, has his Arcane Shift anyway, but if he doesn't have the double mobility and he just has a lot of offensive and defensive value in every team fight he has to play, and now I really want to see how Team Secret propels this lead they have further. They are almost 4,000 gold ahead. They equalized the Drake score a little bit more. And Eddie is now on 2 items. And Artifact so far isn't that when he hits his 2-item power spike, I think these fights get a lot of easier for them. And of course, Baron not a huge issue in the early game, as just now it spawned and nobody can really tank it up. But for these next Drake fights, I expect Team Secret to be very ready. Last time, of course, the Herald held them out a little bit. This won't be something they have next time, but the map control of them is something that can carry them through, and right now it's looking okay for them.
It certainly is, as they do have full control over this top side road. They're going to engage as well. Yijin has to burn the flash. That's a lovely Swirl Seed. The Lilting Lullaby as well. Artifact not really close enough to follow up on it, though, as that will just be GE being able to walk away. Beob being a good bouncer.
Very good bouncer indeed. As we see in the bot lane, where Wukong, although Hero, is really pushing up and just now being answered by Coded, TP would almost be back up for the side of Hero. And we have seen, of course, the engage potential from the Secret is very huge, with the potential Little Garden coming out, and then Artifact being there for the follow-up. This time, he didn't even press a trigger, and it was still something where they could at least blow the flash on the side of Yijin, and that is, of course, also very huge cooldown. If they ever get a good start on the Baron, Trundle doesn't have that much ease to get into the pit.
Yijin, he's been caught between a rock and a hard place as there's the Yone ultimate and they know where their bread is buttered as once again Yijin is taken down.
And this Trundle is supposed to be a tank, right? He doesn't look that tanky to me, I gotta say. With the Blades of Wound King Yone having onto him, and also Lilia with the Dreamland buff passive can also deal a very good amount of damage to any tanky member. And this might just be the trigger point to start the Baron, but I think it's still too early. Even if you catch the jungler, you just take too much damage and too much time to finish it. Yeah, you can maybe bait a fight, but even that is very hard. They just now try to bait a fight without starting the Baron and just now go for the flank.
Oh, Blazers. He's in trouble as Artifact's caught him out. There's the flash, but Hero goes over the wall with the W, has the Cyclone as well, and Eddie joins on in. They will take him down. And that's a mid laner off the map. Team Secret aren't going to go for the Baron, though. They are just going to take a reset.
Team Secret is just brutal in that regard. I mean, they actually are doing what I just said. I mean, with baiting the Baron without even starting the Baron and just forcing GE to panic because GE has to do something because potentially he could go for it.
This is a good death from Blazers, if you ask me, because he just got them. They were forced to stay for that extra 15 or so seconds, and that got them the dragon.
I think that was just Team Secret sleeping a little bit, to be honest. I think they could have all moved together to the Drake, and then it would be their Drake. Or Penguin could just also try to go for the steal. But with this, GE sneaking the Drake away and didn't. I think they knew that Team Secret would maybe play on the Baron and didn't expect them to rush it down. And that's exactly what GE did. Like that play from behind from them. I mean, just know they were getting a little bit toyed by Team Secret and rushing away this Drake in their face. Penguin not trying to go for the steal because if he doesn't get the steal and just dies, then it might just be Baron for GE instead. Just now, GE on Soul Point, and that is a very scary prospect that Team Secret shouldn't have been in a position to be.
We'll have to see how it goes as the Hexgate's being utilised once again. B-Ob's in a lot of trouble as he's found a Nautilus and a Lilia in a bush, but he is an Alistair. He's very tanky to try and turn it around. Penguin's just going to try and land a big sleep. Goes gold, he sleeps 4, and in goes Artifact with that Yone ultimate on top of them, but he just gets melted away, Crincy. It's not gone well, but look at this Lilia damage coming out from the back end of the fight as Team Secret 2 trade 1 for 1, mid for mid. And they've scattered GE. Can they actually make anything happen? Yijin is spotted. If they can kill this jungler, there's a chance at the Baron. And look at Eddie as he shreds down the cow. We need to see the other side of the fight as it is still the hunt for Yijin. He is trying to sneak away, but there it is. The Cyclone has found him, but the slows are good. Will Hero finally be able to take him down? There it is. Brings down the pole, and Team Secret move directly to Baron.
Artifact with a huge fade seal. He kind of looked like a clown because he didn't really have the damage. He just died there. But he just bought time for the rest of his team. You could just easily pincer GE, which just now means that they can on their own start this Baron up. But it's still very risky to play. Coded is still there. Slater's still there. And Team Secret has to move away.
And Coded moving forward does go down, but it stops the Baron. That's a good death. Slater maybe don't keep on going as there's a flash forward from Artifact. They want to try and get the finish onto this AD carry. There it is as he gets the E damage, the pop. Blazers has package that will ward off any further fighting, and we are in for a rocking late game.
We are in for a rocking late game, or at least Team Secret. If GE not so much, they are now silently gone down 7k gold. I mean, they have been pulling off quite some good deaths to stop these major objectives, but they really have been bleeding gold left and center. And also Artifact right now should be on the second item power spike finally. We also have just now seen what Zeri can do once she gets her item power spikes, and that's how we see Team Secret starting off the Baron. GE, of course, they want to contest, but I don't think they can.
They have package. Yijin has flash, so he get over and Blazers just rips his way on in. They're going to try and zone Yijin out. The Baron is still ticking down to that red carpet, so they can't quite reset it. Can Yijin get close enough to flash over the wall? I don't think he can, as Baron has gone down. It is traded for 2 kills on the side of GE. In goes Shushopara Zhuhao with the W shield. Just about good enough. And I think GE got about the best they could hope for there.
They did, but it's not enough, I think. I mean, 2 kills to get to lose also 1 kill and also lose the Baron is not enough for them. I think that that Team Secret is very happy with that, especially considering that this Baron buff will likely translate into the next Hextech Drake, as they can just now establish priority in the bot lane, in the mid lane, and just work with the 3 Baron buffs they still have. Was still very good play by Team Secret, just washing away the Baron and just not zoning Yijin away directly, but just fighting him straight up. And Yijin just had to move away from the Baron. Then the Baron could just be washed by the side of Penguin. And here we see again how they did it. The package from Blaze is also very optimistically, and also he tanked the Ultra Shock laser, and that just alone made it so he couldn't really buy any more time against Eddie. If here we see Artifact going in with the Fate Sealed, getting, of course, as well Alistar to force his ultimate away. And also this 2-shot barrage was hitting very well, but the damage is not enough. Slater is not really that far ahead right now. We see it in the farm department. He's just equal to the Zeri while having 0 kills. And the Zeri kind of popping off ahead of him. And I would expect Team Secret to now re-establish the control and just go for the next Drake.
Coded, having a go with Hero. The Cyclone comes out, but there is a teleport on the other side. This Gnar is able to do a hell of a lot, particularly when he's got backup from the Corki, and the Monkey has been farmed.
Monkey has been found. This could be huge because this is just now 1 pick away, and the Hero will still be down for potential Drake. But if GE will rush the Drake right now, if they happen to go for a play there,
Zhu Hao,
he has
that's
to
a
strike
little
right
bit
now.
too far. Yeah, GE absolutely needs to take advantage of that. As you said, Flash was not actually burned by Zhu Hao there. I could have sworn he would have to do it. But no, he saves that summoner. Team Secret with good positioning around the Drake, but not with good numbers. Can they navigate this?
They are 1 member less. If GE plays it up perfectly, it would be Hextech still for them and would maybe let them this 1 game. Artifact is however zoning coded.
Yeah, but he needs to be in the main
go for the steal.
Artifact needs to get into the main fight. They need to get into the pit, but no, Yijin has the safe hands. Hextech Soul has been secured, but now the fight comes out in earnest. Good hook goes in from Zhu Hao. Artifact trying to get through Beyond, but he's a tanky cow. Nautilus will be the first one to fall as Hero has rejoined the fight. He spins the pole. Slater is so low, and GE get melted away. Coded, the last man standing, but it is truly a desperate time as he's had to burn the teleport. Can they kill him before he goes away? No, not quite. He gets on out. And that is Team Secret winning the fight. But we need to see them take some structures.
They need to take some structures. They might even go for the end here. And Coated surviving might just be what actually stopped it, because Coated had like 100 HP. He gets to recall away and gets to
I don't think they can end.
They can't end because Coated survived. And this is Hextech Soul GE. Of course, this fight losing is something that definitely hurts them. Also, the map control going down with dropping the mid inhibitor, but it's just a mid inhibitor. The lane you want to have priority anyway. And here we see how the fight played out. Soul just washed down by the side of Yijin. The fight itself, of course, going in the favor of Team Secret, as they didn't have to blow anything on the Drake itself. They also still had their gold lead and find a good angle here with Alistar really getting scrambled around, and a good Yona ultimate again by the side of Artifact, and Hebo also cycloning into the backline and them just picking them apart 1 by 1. But of course, with the Hextech Soul going over, it might just not be.
Where are you, mate? How did you get here? Did you get lost?
Shuho being like, record scratch. Yeah, kids, that's me. You probably wonder how I ended up in this position. And we really do wonder, how are you there? It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, it must have just been a warding mission gone bad, but it went really bad, and he's now off the map for another 24 seconds. I don't think he's going to get punished. There's nothing up that really requires their Nautilus, but just a little bit of sloppy movement there out of the Team Secret support.
And I really wonder how these next fights are going on about, because it is Hextech Soul, but it is Hextech Soul against an 8k gold deficit, so it kind of maybe evens it out, basically. And also Hextech Soul is very good onto something like a Corki. But I still think you need to respect the all-incoming from Team Secret, especially with Lilting Lullaby and Fate Sealed. And Zeri, of course, being a very broken champion.
Penguin's in a lot of trouble, has to get out of there, uses the stopwatch, but I don't think it's going to matter as the rocket lands in. And Team Secret, it feels like their keyboards got disconnected for a little bit there.
Definitely does. They just get picked apart 1 by 1. Definitely something out of favor for them. And Penguin, of course, with the Subjugate being onto him, is, even with the tank Lily item build, not that tanky and can just be buttered by the side of Corki and Ezreal respectively. Slater slightly mistiming his 2-shot barrage on the status of Penguin, but it didn't really matter as the rockets were flying anyway as well. And we see in the gold department, Blazes is ahead of Artifact right now. And the Corki, who needs a lot of gold, now has a lot of gold. And with the Hextech Soul can really come to fruition. And if he doesn't go for these crazy package plays yet again, he can be the one to carry GE in this game.
Absolutely. I think despite the gold lead, I think we actually have a very interesting game on our hands. As Zhu Hao once again caught out. The pillar is up, but he's got a big shield. He's got a team to run away to as well. But with the teleport coming in, this could be a game-deciding play here. Crinzy, as Zhu Hao throws the ultimate, gets a good knockup. The Cyclone has been used as well. In goes the package towards Artifact as they're desperately trying to get this Wukong out of there. Hero goes gold. He's trying to do everything he can, but he will fall regardless. Artifact, nard into the wall. The wallet follow-up is not quite there. Uses the Yone ultimate, manages to get the distance as well. So he's on the run, but with Blazers hunting him down. The flash is used. I don't think he can outplay Coded. He can't. Blazers shuts him down. And that is a Baron now for GE.
And GE just picks Team Secret apart. Eddie could get out, but while he could get out, he couldn't really deal any more damage to the team fight itself. And Artifact was buying time, but buying time for whom? Nobody was in position on the side of Team Secret to really threaten the backline of GE. And like this, GE just gets two free pickups here, and another one with the Baron itself going down. Penguin on another hand, though, can at least maybe trade Alistair back. Yijin is almost down.
In trouble. Yijin going incredibly low, but uses the smite to heal back up. He gets it. It's okay. As now there's a sleep, and Team Secret are going to engage. This is a 3v5, but they think they've got the health bar lead. I don't know if that's a good decision. Yijin incredibly low, but he hasn't gone down. A double kill coming out for Lilia as that burn comes in clutch. Blazes as well into the GA. Penguin is going absolutely off this fight. Lands a swirl seed, finally falls, but they have managed to equalize the numbers almost. It's only one, but the big shock blast in goes the Wukong, knocks them up and puts them down. He's got a double. Can he make it a triple? Yes, he can. Hero, change that second letter to an E.
3v5, and they just win the fight because Penguin is really smurfing that one. Buying time also for Hero coming with the TP's follow-up by the Cyclone, and Eddie just hit that 3-man Ultra Shock laser to just laser the game away from GE. It was by now thrown. It was a game that GE should have won with the Hextech Soul, with the Baron being on that table, but Team Secret just go pedal to the metal, go for the 3v5 fight, and just win it on the HP bar difference alone, and this is their game that they are going to steal right here.
Absolute highway robbery as the Nexus will fall. And that was hero moment after hero moment. You had Penguin going in, buying more time than any